Like, I accept that humans are literally, we were here by chance, by luck, and we just have to live with all the opportunities we have and just be grateful that we're alive, right?
Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in before we start and just give a trigger warning. We do mention topics of suicide and it does get pretty personal, and I feel like I should just skip a heads up because it does take a left turn. It's quite a dark episode. This is an episode we recorded on one of my down days, and to me, it really helped me on a day like the day you're about to listen to. It really highlights why it's important to have people to talk to when you're feeling shitty. Okay, I just wanted to give a heads up. Love you all, and I hope this episode helps you in some way.
Welcome back for another episode of the Couch Project. Today, guys, we've got something a little bit different. We're just chilling in the Discord where we gather and talk, and we're just having a discussion with all the guys, and we thought, why not record this? So today's episode will be on the purpose of life. It's a big topic. Big topic. But guys, welcome to the couch, and let's get our feelings out, our emotions out. How do you feel about the purpose of life?
I think it definitely varies from person to person. I'm pretty happy, but the main person that we really want to talk to on this episode so far has been Ethan. We want to hear what's going on with you, eh?
Well, I just want to talk like they're not there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just feels like life's just pointless, isn't it?
It means to an end.
We're just grinding until we get the end.
Mm.
And what does that mean?
And
I think it's the way you look at life. I think that because everyone can look at life differently.
Of course.
And you can look at life saying, I'm a speckle of dust in this giant universe and my life's going to have no impact on anything. Or you have the other way around where you're like, I'm this little speckle of dust. I'm actually going to do something with my life. There has been many humans that have impacted lots of other humans' lives in positive and negative ways. So I think it's just the way you perceive what is your purpose.
Mm.
And it changes throughout your life.
Of course.
I think at stages you feel like where you have those depressing moments where you're like, I don't have purpose. Like, why am I even here? And it's important to recognize that you're having those feelings and talk about it with your mates.
Well, I think even people having the idea of purpose is toxic. Just, I used to think up until like recently that people died for a reason, or people were put on this earth for a reason, but they're not. I've come to terms that things just happen how they happen, and there's no reason why. And we just do what we do to just live and distract ourselves from the fact that one day we will die.
I kind of want to disagree. Like,
I disagree strongly,
yeah.
But I'll let you take this one, Tom.
I think that this is like you're saying like from your point of view at the moment, like your life is saying like you're just trying to find something to do. You're working, you're going to do this, you go and do uni, you get a better job, so on and so forth, right? And it can sound very depressing if you look at it like that. But the thing is, the things that you, in my opinion, you should be paying attention to are the really small, minute things that I guess each person has in their life that maybe one other person maybe doesn't. Like,
see, I can view what Tom just said as saying like those little things like going to uni, waking up, going to work. Like the way I view it, and at this current time, I view it like that. Fuck, that's so lucky that you get to go to uni,
yeah,
and that you get to go to work and talk to people and make money and have opportunities to do so much more.
That's just comparison. That's just saying I have.
How's that? I'm not comparing.
No,
to anyone.
you're literally comparing. I should be happy.
I'm not comparing
because
to anyone.
No, you are. You're literally saying because I have an education, because I have these opportunities, I should be happy because other people don't.
No, but I am happy. I'm not saying I should be. I am happy because I can impact on other people's lives.
He just values things differently. I agree with Ethan to an extent. It's a very the way that Ethan just explained is, again, this comes back to being self-aware. If you think negatively, you're only going to be a negative person, right? And you're only ever going to be sad. So if you think that you have no point on earth, then you're never going to be happy, ever. But, and this is the problem with being self-aware, I agree with Ethan, but the hardest thing is to come to the conclusion that you just have to accept it and move past it. Like, I accept that humans are literally, we were here by chance, by luck, and we just have to live with all the opportunities we have and just be grateful that we're alive, right? And
you got to make the most of it.
You don't have to.
You don't have to,
but if you want to live a happy life, you have to make the most of it.
I think one thing to compare it to, which a lot of people, I guess, kind of look over, is there are so many people that are taken from it way too early, and I know that under Ethan's the current mentality, that's kind of like they're taken, but what does it matter? They might not have as much of an impact, or we don't bring anything to the earth.
I think the point Ethan was trying to make was that there was no reason for them to be taken.
Yeah. Like they should still be alive.
Yeah, they should. And
yet people go on about how they died for something greater.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why they died. There's a reason why they left this earth, but there's not.
I think so. I mean, I think it definitely depends on the aspect of how you look at it. Of course, everything is perceptive, right?
How do you look at it? How do you look at someone dying at 16 to a car accident?
Oh, no, that in itself.
How do you look at a child dying at 2 years of age due to cancer?
And that's what he's saying.
This brings back that karma thing, like we talked about the first episode, how a newborn baby dying.
It's something that you can't predict, and it's something we can't help. But do you know what? The thing is, in the future, we may be able to prevent that because someone had lost the child. No, listen. Someone could have lost the child to a cancer, or someone who's a geneticist, or they've have people in their family that they've known, or they've lost a family member or a sibling or something, right? And they grow up, and their goal and their mission is to.
Oh, that's such a good point. So Tom's saying they create through chance their own purpose, their own destiny.
Yeah, but I reckon those people would go back and have their person they loved.
Oh, no, of course. Obviously.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's not how life works.
We don't get to choose that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, they are creating their own destiny via the potentially traumatic or non-traumatic things that have happened to them in their life, right?
Like it or not, we're all subject to chance and change, and whether we want to be or not.
Like, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking, when I'm old, of course I want every one of my boys to be alive. And I want all of us to be like best friends forever and fucking be immortal and, all that shit. But the realistic thing is, it sounds really fucked up, but one of us might die at any point. And to me, that is a big enough deal to live as vicariously and as well as I possibly can to get the most out of the small things and small amount of time that I get with you guys. That's I guess that's just me, but yeah.
I agree with that idea as well. It's just hard.
It is. It's fucking shit.
It's hard when you're in those moods.
It's just hard at the moment. I know I'll feel different, but
it's
just in this. It's coming to that self-realization, and I think everyone goes through it. I think everyone sits there and goes,
Absolutely.
"Why am I on this earth?" Literally every human does that.
It's a mind state.
What's my purpose?
I'm pretty sure every human being has gone through. And honestly, it's one that's really hard to break. Honestly, I broke it myself by just pondering and just thinking about it so much, to the point where I either changed my attitude about it, or I just gave up on it and changed perspectives. I just thought about it so much that there was just no other option but to change perspective.
It is it's a draining feeling to think about.
And that's kind of what I was saying about the whole thing, was you've just got to accept it. Like, you've just got to move past the fact that in reality, logically, we really don't have a purpose. But if you continually think you continually think negative, you'll never, ever, ever, ever,
You're
ever
like
be happy.
you're like tricking yourself to be a kid again.
Kind of. Oh, look, you're
That's
being
like how looking through a lens of everything is.
Can I get you to specify what you mean by being a kid again?
How I can't think of the word, but the naive.
Yeah, just naivety.
Naivety.
Like
Nah, it's not. It's
being
not.
a child.
When they're naive and they don't understand anything, they don't.
They have hope.
And
Yeah.
and their perspective hasn't been tarnished in any way.
Yeah,
It's kind of
and kind of need to trick yourself to stop being so self-aware and just live with the moment and just.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't imagine living through life and always worrying about the big picture and why my purpose.
No. But then, yeah.
It'd be so mentally draining.
I'm so
Okay,
zoomed out. It's hard to zoom in.
Let's put it this way, right? Okay, with being self-aware, the problem is that you care too much. If you're a good person, you care too much about the people around you, right? And you just get into this big rabbit hole of overthinking. So you think your flaws, what they do, how they affect others, what other people like. And because you just are constantly negative and they're constantly identifying these issues, it just puts you in this negative mindset. So it puts you into a further fucking deeper hole. And that's where you get to the point where you're just like, what is the point of any of it? So it's that's where how you get there. That is how you get to the point.
Rhetorical. What's the point of thinking like that?
It's just like how you are.
But the
it's just how you
thing
think.
is, though, it's not a mentality you get to choose.
But like the way you're thinking doesn't mean anything. If life doesn't matter, the way you're thinking right now doesn't
That's the whole point.
That's the thing.
This is what we're talking about.
So why not enjoy yourself?
This is what I'm talking
Why are you
about.
there?
Just like we're talking about it now, instead of having a conversation about it, we could have a conversation about the meaning of life for decades. Because there is no one meaning to life. Meaning of life is different for every single individual because you make it what you want. And when you can't identify what your purpose is, then it becomes an issue.
Okay, let's go around in a circle. What's your meaningful life currently? Because it does change as you go through life.
I'm gonna be honest. Who wants to start?
Tom, you can start.
I was just trying to think of it's really hard for me to put mine into words because I'm very.
I'll start.
Yeah, you go.
So my meaning of life is that I've acknowledged I am self-aware that I'm a speckle of dust in the universe. I don't spend any time or energy looking into that. My purpose of life is to live life so I'm happy and people are happy around me. And if I can improve quality of life around me or impact life around me, that's just a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything you just said just like triggered every brain cell in my head. Just then, like that alarms went off.
Okay.
Oh
give us a.
Okay. I'm going to go.
That's because I'm talking positive.
I'm going to go. So, what do I think about the meaning of life? I think the only meaning in life that there could ever possibly exist is the meaning you give into life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that the only things you find meaningful are the only things that mean anything.
Yeah.
And I would love for anyone to debate
agree with that. I agree with that.
What did they say it again? Sorry.
Nothing else matters. Literally nothing else matters other than what you think.
That's what I was getting at. It's everyone has their own definition.
That's it.
Tom?
Sorry. Myself personally, or at least with my meaning of life.
Are you talking about meaning of life just at the moment, or?
Yeah.
Well, you can only say at the moment what you think of life at the moment. As we were saying,
I thought
I don't think really my perspective's changed too much in the last maybe year, but I'd say before that when I felt like I had a little bit more purpose in regards to maybe jobs. Or...
No, right now, Tom. What's your meaning of life?
I know.
Right
I'm just giving you a little bit of backstory, Lachlan. God.
But we're not talking about backstory. Tom. We're talking about what we think right now.
Yeah, but you know what is important to me? Backstory. So that's my part of my meaning of my life. But no, okay. A simple way to put it is I don't worry too much about what other people think. The very limited amount of people that I do, I really do try to just make an impact on their life that's positive. I don't worry too much about my own life in regards to future wealth or anything like that. I think I have this weird mentality that eventually I'll stumble upon it. But I kind of all I want to do is just spend as much time with the people that I love. before I potentially pass away at any point. And that, in my opinion, is what I hold as meaningful. Like, yeah.
I also
100%.
think this shift in perspective on life has definitely come down to me being on my own again, and I think I'm very codependent as well.
Yeah.
It's easy to be.
It's a big
easy to be
change.
codependent, though. It's
Yeah, 100%.
convenient.
Because I feel like a relationship spews so much meaning into everyday life as well.
Well, it gives you a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Your
gives you something,
role-
like, it gives you someone to work with, right? Like,
Well, that's
you know,
what
for
I'm
the rest of
saying.
your life.
Your role is to make the person that you're with happy.
Yeah.
You
And
actually have something to work towards.
It is one part of a relationship, yeah.
Probably the most important part.
Kai, do you want to go through your meaning of life at the moment?
My meaning of life, technically, as I said before, I don't value my own life that much because at the end of the day, and I get it's hard to get out of this mind space, and I don't know if I ever will, but I don't necessarily see a purpose to my life. Living is a lot of effort, and if people didn't care about me as much as they did, then I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, and I'm not trying to
yeah.
Anyway, I'd probably kill myself, but
Yeah.
I haven't, because everyone around me loves me to absolute death, and I know for a fact. And it's not to say that, as this is another thing as well. If I do die, life still goes on. My life is very insignificant, very insignificant. So the only thing that it does is inconvenience everyone else.
Like it kind of baffles me how someone can do the same job for 60 years, come home to the same house.
Yeah, but do you know what they strive for? They strive for a
As
better
long as they're
life for the
happy, man.
people.
Yeah, I know,
underneath
but I
them.
know, I understand that that's just about, yeah.
100%. I don't think I could do the same job for 6 years.
Ethan, I want to ask you this, right? Like, you are the type of person who, you know, you're currently studying to teach English, right? That's a big position in relation to the world, because you will be literally teaching generations of students, right?
You're having impacting on so many people, like different kids.
the very generations.
That's the whole reason why I wanted to do the job.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like, the thing that you're aiming for is something that's so significant in regards to the world that that is your purpose at the moment, right? Like, your purpose is, or something or one of your many infinite purposes, in my opinion. I don't think anyone has just one purpose. I think people have so many purposes, but just that one will create such a big impact for so many years to come, right? Like, people will remember you as some people will remember you as their favorite teacher. Some people will remember you as the teacher they hated the most, or the subject they hated the most. Like,
you still impact on their lives.
You still have impact on their lives, and you've taught them. You're teaching them how English works and all that other stuff, and you're not going to just teach them about English as well. Teachers are just generally adults that know how to and learn how to talk to students and younger people.
But they can also influence.
Yeah, dude, we had
the kids' decisions.
We had so many people in high school that were influenced by other teachers. Like, I remember going to high school and being enjoying seeing some of my teachers because they were so friendly and so just welcoming.
You subconsciously are influenced at school.
Yeah,
teachers are all constantly influencing how you act and how you behave, and it's dependent on how you are as a person that you absorb that information, I guess.
I'm sure you have plenty of teachers that you went to school with, Ethan, that you probably could be like, they were really cool people. Like, even if they weren't the best teacher, they were probably a cool person, or they were a nice person. And in some way, shape, or form, that taught you something about human nature that you genuinely wanted. That your brain genuinely applied to real life. Even the shittest people in life teach you stuff. That is their purpose in your life. The fucking biggest cunts in the whole entire world, that may bully you or fucking treat you like shit, teach you something about yourself. That is their purpose in your life. And it sounds really weird, but that's just how it is.
Are we going to go back to what I was saying now that Jax is gone? Or?
Yeah, go for it. Revert back.
Where was it?
Yeah, go back. What was your purpose of life, guys?
Okay, yeah. So I'll skip the suicide thing. Anyway, my point of life is I live for others. Whether or not that's acceptable is up to me to decide, I guess. And I don't think it is, but at the moment, that's the only way I'm getting by.
I'd like to interject. I'd like to say I think it is acceptable because it's keeping you alive.
Yes.
So I think it's acceptable
Like,
for
at least-
now as a stand-in.
At least you're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
Talking
it.
to us right now.
Until you can get to a better frame of mind, I think it's okay for now.
Yes.
It's not sustainable, but it is.
Yeah.
It comes back down to the thing. And yeah,
It's a duct tape fix, I think.
yeah, it comes back down to the thing is if you think negatively, you're going to behave and act negatively.
It's like the tape with block. It's like, that's a lot of
Yeah.
damage.
It's a flex tape
Flex
thing.
tape, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's quite as strong as flex tape, but you know what?
So, yeah.
Okay, so Ethan, what is your purpose of life?
That's
Something
the
you're
whole
struggling with right
question.
That's the whole
Does,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's something you. I think when you go, like you've been codependent for so long, and then you do break away. I think you do. I think these questions do come up while you're alone because you don't get that chance while you're together.
Dos, can
You
I
think
ask you
about
just quickly, interject? Do you think you're a codependent person?
Yes, I do think
Yes.
he's a codependent person.
But
You know what?
I think I
It is.
also
Yeah, of
I
course. he is.
also
Wait,
think
What was the longest you went single, mate?
Mate,
the
he,
past,
spent, he
like,
spent the first
5
14 years
years.
of his life single. I don't know what you're on about.
like a month probably.
Why do you think that is?
We don't need, we don't
We're
need to
not, we're not breaking fucking DOS down, mate. Calm
Oh,
down.
I'm not. I just want to know. I just want to know
Well,
why.
I think you can grow with people.
I do.
I think it doesn't matter if I'm single or
But I also
or
think
with someone.
if you would
It
be,
depends on the type of relationship.
Well,
you'd be a completely different person if you're by
Yeah.
yourself.
If you can be independent with someone,
yeah.
I think that's perfect.
And I just want to interject, Ethan. I don't mean to be rude, but this motherfucker is just like, you gotta love yourself, man, before you love anyone else. And
What do you mean?
But you haven't
DOS
been
has
by
always
yourself
loved himself, mate. What do you
for
mean?
long enough.
The thing is, I can grow and think independently with someone.
Yeah, but how do you know that? You've been by yourself for a month in like the past 6 years.
I understand that my experiences don't match up with what I'm saying.
exactly.
Doesn't
That's
mean
our point.
doesn't null and void of what I'm
No,
saying.
it doesn't. But what we're saying is, there's not much.
But
There's not much reliability or validity to what
I
you're
think
saying.
I think
It
your
doesn't-
way of
You don't
thinking
think
is
so?
very naive and
It doesn't,
very.
it doesn't
it's too
cancel
positive
out
to
what
me.
you're saying, but it
What's
definitely
naive
doesn't
about my
help
thinking?
what you're saying.
I just don't think it makes it very, like, the validity of what you're saying. It doesn't. Yeah.
It doesn't,
If
doesn't
you're-
matter.
My
If you're-
actions don't
if-
follow what I'm saying. Is that what you're trying to
It's
say?
very contradictory, is what I'm saying.
That's like me saying, well, actually, I think I'm a very independent person within a relationship. I think I'm not codependent at all. What sort of opinion is that? I've been single for like pretty much all my life. Like,
Well, to be fair, actually, he's not wrong. You can be independent in a relationship, but to say that you are an independent person is very different story. Because
100%.
you can say that you're independent in a relationship because you are, but to say you're independent as a person is a very different story.
but how would my situation is the same as DOS, right? Because I'm just the reverse.
That's why I'm saying you're very independent as a
Like
person.
if anyone would know, you would.
But that's
help
what
me
I'm
more.
saying is that DOS can't. There's what DOS said. I'm not, as he said, just because what he said. Sorry, just because he's in a relationship doesn't cancel out what he said. But it also doesn't give what he said much meaning because you haven't experienced yourself.
If what I said came from a different person that has been single for a long time, it would mean
Yes,
different
exactly right. That is exactly right.
So
But what we're trying to say is
There
that
would be more meaning behind
I
what
just
they
can't
say.
portray the message. I just got to tell someone else to say it,
pretty much, yeah.
which is ridiculous because it's the exact same thing.
No,
I
it's
also
not though
want to
because
add.
because it's kind of like saying if you've got depression and someone that doesn't have depression saying just don't have depression.
No, it's not. Really
That's nothing like what we're saying.
I think it is.
I don't think it is.
It's kind of like saying just be like you've got to be more independent. You can. It's easy. You can do it.
No, it's not. That's not what I'm saying. It's giving the same advice,
No, it
But from a
feels like
different
I'm a.
but because of their experiences, it affects their.
So like I've
meaning.
got an illness and I come to you for advice when you've never had that illness.
Yes.
But that happens all the time. Doctors do that all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, though,
Yes, but
but you're not
doctors
a
are well
doctor.
researched
And that's-
into
Yeah,
the
you're not a
illness.
doctor.
That's
mate.
also
But-
a physical thing majority of the time.
Also,
Yeah.
you,
So
you,
I've
you are
researched
not
a lot
well
into
versed
it.
in being single because you're.
And I also
never
want to
being
add
single.
what also makes me feel shittier is when I hurt people,
Yeah, that
Which I have
just
been-
means you're a good person. Yeah, because
and that just
that's always
Makes
going
me
to
feel
happen.
means
worse.
you have apathy and sympathy, so that's a good thing.
Apathy?
It's not as
Empathy?
like it sucks, but the thing is, at the end of the day, you're gonna if you want to move on, let's say, and you've been in like a relationship and you want to move on, the only way to leave is either they make a decision that they want to leave, or you have to be the person that does the damage. But then, what's it called? But then, like, what all you're doing is opening the wound, but in a good way. Like, I think that it's just a really big thing with like opening as I think that Lachlan just said, like opening the wound one more time. It was you, Ethan. Opening the wound one more time, and it sucks. But if you do it, then it's done. Like you don't have to go. Like there's nowhere else for it to go except for separate ways, right?
My thoughts on if you feel shit if you hurt someone, right?
Mhm.
I think you always learn from if you hurt someone or been hurt. You always learn from that experience of what you should or shouldn't do.
but
And
what if you make the
how you
same
change.
mistake again?
We're
Does that
only
make
human.
you-
We're only human.
you can't be perfect.
Bro, I made the same mistake twice, and it took me two times to realize it was
sometimes
wrong.
it does take a couple times.
If
You're like,
you've
"Oh,
done
shit,
it
maybe I shouldn't
once,
do it."
you don't have an excuse the next time if you do
No,
it.
because-
No.
then
You
you're
have
just an
no.
arsehole.
Listen, if you make a mistake once, a lot of the time that is just human error, and you didn't know any better. The second
Yeah,
time,
and the next time it's a choice.
No,
You know
the second time
consequence.
isn't always a choice because you also have hope.
You're still trying to figure
No,
it out.
you have hope that it will be better
Or different.
or different.
It also depends on what it is.
Yeah, of course.
we're
But the thing
talking
is, a
about.
large portion of the time, like in those situations, you are putting yourself out into the universe to hopefully receive the thing that you wanted the first time, right? Like, unless it's like something stupid like drugs or something, like, I'm doing.
Look, I just think it's too situational to really get into because honestly,
Okay, but let's try and simplify the concept. Then.
I just want to say that I don't want to be in a relationship for ages because I don't want to hurt someone.
Yeah, but that's good
Because
that just comes
I
with
have-
you. Just want to. You also are going to learn a lot about yourself while being single. No, you will. You might not think it, but you are going to learn so much more about yourself while you're single.
But I also don't like just sleeping with a girl.
Yeah, no, me either. I hate it.
But I don't want to get in a relationship.
Yeah, that's good.
well, then just stop sleeping with the girl and don't be in a relationship.
Yeah,
Easier
Just don't have sex.
said than done.
not really.
No, it isn't.
No,
Just
it's
stop
actually
sleeping with the
actually
girl.
just very easy.
It's
That
actually
is
not
the
that hard
dumbest
at all.
fucking thing I've ever heard.
That-
If
how is it dumb?
If you don't want a
if
relationship.
the thing that makes you happy is the thing that you're like, if being in a relationship
I'm
with
not
someone.
saying sex makes me happy.
No, I'm not saying that. But if
Sex-
being in a
sex is just
relationship
nice.
makes you happy, and you just say, then don't be in a relationship.
At what point did he say
When did anyone
being
say
in a
happy?
relationship is the thing that makes me happy?
It
No.
did make me happy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
Yeah,
he's
but
saying.
but was it the
That's
person
what
or the fact
he's
that you
saying.
were in a relationship?
I think it was probably like I just said I was codependent.
Yeah.
So I think it was the fact that it gave me purpose.
It gave you
me-
something, and that's something that everyone has to deal with, especially after a big like serious breakup. Dude, like who else is like no one else can tell you how to feel after the end of your
and
relationship.
I also hate people not liking me.
Well, yeah, that's just, that's just like that's
And
yeah.
I
Well,
know
You know what?
I'm in the wrong in both my situations, and I know that I just look like an asshole, but I know I'm not an asshole.
Yeah.
But I don't like people thinking I'm an asshole.
You know what? Even the nicest people in the world can be assholes sometimes. Everybody on the planet can be an asshole or has been an asshole at some point in their life. It just is what it is.
Not Hayden.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure Hayden's been the definition. Yeah, Hayden has been the definition of arsehole.
Ethan, I want to kill you. That's me being an asshole,
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm pretty sure there's definitely been some pretty more
was
serious things that you've done in
That
your
was just a
life.
bit,
But,
that was just a bit of a vomit
Yeah.
kink or something.
Yeah.
but
Can we talk about that?
no,
I think what Ethan was trying to say, I didn't mean to say call you dumbest thing ever, Lifeline. What I think Ethan was trying to say is the thing that makes him happy is being in a relationship, but he doesn't want to be in a relationship because it makes him sad.
No. Because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to start a relationship, so he potentially has to hurt them if he doesn't want to be with them later on.
He also wants to be in one.
No.
Kai,
oh my god.
No. Yeah, I know. Tom, wait, don't worry, I got it.
Okay, you go. You
Kai,
beat him down.
The point I was trying to make is that I think the healthiest solution for Ethan is to be single. That's the only thing I was trying to say.
And what I'm saying is that's easier said than done.
No, but it's not, because
I don't think it is.
Tom,
listen.
First of all, no. I just want to say, Tom. Tom's example. Tom, when we've told you 1,000 times what the f are you doing with your exes, what was your answer?
No, my exes was to find my own opinion on it, to be honest.
That took you how long?
Well, first toxic one was 9 months, and then the second one was 6 months. 6 months.
And the only reason why I'm saying this is that it's easier said than done. That's all I'm trying to illustrate.
I know it's going to be a hard road. I agree with Kai. It's going to be a hard road, but you can do it.
But
I'd like to also say
it's the right way.
I don't. At no point did I say it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I also want to
obviously.
I also want to throw in, right. This is a separate. I mean, this is the same conversation to do with relationships and stuff. But the thing is, right. Ethan doesn't want to be in a relationship because he doesn't want to hurt anyone. Simple as that, right? But as he said, he is codependent. I myself am also very codependent. I enjoy being in relationships and I enjoy being with people. And I do know the struggle of trying to balance the fact of you don't want to be can just sleep around and you flirt with heaps of girls until you find someone and then potentially date them, and then you have to break it off if you don't want to be with them or they're just not the type of person for you. But the thing is, him being single and focusing on being single for now, at least, you can flirt with as many girls as you want. That doesn't matter. That's your choice. That's you can flirt with one girl, you can flirt with 50. None of us would care. It's just the thing is, you being single makes it so you eventually can break down that part that makes you codependent, and it means that when you're in a relationship, you are more focused on the overall well-being of your relationship together, and you still have your independence. You've already had that independent phase. You've focused on stuff that makes you happy at that current point in time. You've worked on hobbies, you've worked at jobs, you've worked to improve, relationships, even with just us, your family, friends, something outside of it. And then once you meet, you can run into a girl on the street. You could run into a girl in a coffee shop. You could run into a girl at a party, and you could chat it up. And if they spark your interest,
yeah, and you're actually living your own individual life, and they just become a part of it. Not the whole
it's like
thing.
a living organism. They just join in. They just come and they just eventually slide their way into your life.
Is that how you define? How do we define codependence?
Codependency is essentially to be happy. You have to have
someone
that relationship.
Codependency.
But what I was going to say is,
Kai, just quickly, do you think you're a codependent person?
I reckon. Well, the reason why what I'm about to say leads into yes, I do reckon I'm codependent. The reason why I guess I'm so passionate at the moment is because Ethan's case is extremely similar to my own case, right? Where I got out of a long-term relationship. I hated life, but I also wanted to be with someone. But at the same time, the reason why I didn't want to be with someone is because I didn't want to hurt them. So it's a bit of a vicious cycle, right?
Yeah.
And the problem with that is everyone can say around you, and I've said to Joss before, and it irritates me when he says, and I've said to him, just be on yourself. You've got to make yourself happy before you can make others. And the reason why it triggered me is because he hasn't experienced what it's like. And that's where it comes back to the thing where
it means I can never give advice.
No, I'm not saying you can't give advice. I'm saying your advice doesn't hold as much meaning because you don't know how hard it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I completely understand where you guys are coming from.
But Doss's frustration comes from he wants to help.
I know that.
And he's frustrated because we're telling him he can't help.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And
that's huge. That's exactly right. You've nailed it the head. It does frustrate me.
And what I was getting in before is that the reason why I'm so honest with all the girls I talk to is because the last thing
You don't want to hurt
the
them.
last
Yeah.
thing I want to fucking do is hurt them. So even when I'm so unsure about everything, and there's society, like within what's in the media, what's in society, and what's in the thing to do with men in today's society. As far as I know, it comes back down to things. And again, this comes down to being self-aware and a whole down the rabbit hole thing again, is that men are, not all men, but men are scum, is essentially the issue. So the reason why I'm honest is because I don't want to be like every other person out there. So when I say, oh, am I allowed to talk to other people while talking to you? And they go, oh yeah, we're just talking like blah, 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 like this is how it is type of thing. I have to have that reassurance because I don't want them to think that there's been information that's been misconstrued. Like,
and I think that's like a good thing, right? I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think honesty can ever be bad.
It's a very, very, very good thing, but it's also the reason why I'm unhappy, because I care too much. Because at some point, you've got to just, if you care too much, your brain's constantly active. And when your brain's...
You got to be selfish eventually. Is that what you're trying to say?
Not selfish eventually. Well, yeah, I guess, because what happens is you get so fed up with
being selfish is so down looked upon because...
I know.
I think you have to be selfish sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. It gets to the point where you're literally like, I just want to end it all because there's no point. And then it gets to the point where, similar to my case, where you're living at home and you have a lot of arguments and it's very hard for people to understand you and or be around you. You just got to be selfish at some point, because if you're not, you just end up hating yourself, like to the point of...
You go down that rabbit hole,
yeah,
and it's hard to get out.
Extremely hard. Extremely hard.
Does anyone else got anything to say?
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think we've talked about a lot of things to do with life's purpose and all that stuff. But I think the biggest thing is I want to talk to Ethan and hear what, like, this whole thing started with.
Does this conversation help you?
No, yeah, not even. It doesn't have to have helped. I just think perspective-wise,
it helps in the way that it helps to talk about it and get what I'm feeling at it. Yeah.
Like,
well,
nothing you said has like struck a
change your mind, and I don't think it will. I don't think one conversation can change your mind.
I said, it just will come with time and my own thought process behind it.
Yeah,
and you know what? And these moods and thoughts, they're going to come back to you.
I was just about to say that. The other day, I was sitting in the line. I had to get a COVID test, and I had to sit in line for 2.5 hours, and my phone was dying. And then I sat in the car for an hour of life, and then I started contemplating my own life after I got off the phone and was like, to a girl I'm interested in talking to at the moment, and I ended up talking about how I don't value my own life. And because I was in the car for an hour by myself, just sitting there, I ended up just contemplating my life, just making myself really depressed.
You put yourself in that rabbit hole.
Oh, I did. 100% I did. But regardless, it comes back up.
I just wish there was a balance between, because I don't want to be naive to the point where I don't want to be overly too self-aware. That's my issue.
The funny thing is, it's really, really ironic. I think I'm too self-aware, so I think I can interject into a lot of arguments because I think about things a lot. And the reason why that's ironic is because it doesn't necessarily mean I do. Just because I'm constantly thinking about things and constantly think I have an idea about things does not mean that anything that comes out of my mouth is valid.
That's true.
And that's the problem with being self-aware.
That's why I just want to be an ant.
I know.
I don't want to be an ant. I don't want to be stepped on.
Mate, I mean, I don't mean a literal ant. I mean, just a mindless.
You want to be a worker,
a zombie.
Works
He wants to be a
9 to 5. Wants to put me in the Matrix or something. Put me in the tubes. Don't pull me out.
But the thing is, if you weren't here, like, even let's say our friendship context, if you weren't here, our dynamic in our group would be a lot different. Like, we wouldn't have potentially. It sounds really.
But I'm saying if I wasn't here, you guys wouldn't know any different. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now that I'm here, obviously it'll feel different. But if I wasn't here, there would be no difference.
Yeah,
that you were here.
You're normal,
and that's the thing.
But the thing is, we also might be worse off for it.
Dude, that's just
I'm not
like
just saying in the friend. I'm just saying if I didn't have anyone that loved me, I think I'd probably be in Kai's position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I think a lot of people would.
I think
But
everyone would.
if I didn't
Yeah,
have a
a lot of
close
people
friend
would. If no one
group,
loves you
I would
and you
be.
love no one-
No, it's-
I mean, like if I didn't have a friend group like this, I would be feeling
Yeah, bro.
50
Like,
times.
or why do you
worse.
think half of us, or 80%
If I
of
had
us,
no
have
one to
been
talk
through
to
that?
at the end of the, if I had no one to talk to at the end of the day, it's just
It'd be
I can't
hard.
imagine.
It'd be so
And
hard.
it's really sad because I'd say, I wouldn't be able to say the statistics, but I would say a lot of people, that is why they end up committing suicide is because they don't have a support system.
And they don't have a way of. They
it's not even it's not just it's just talking to someone else,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not even, it doesn't have to be a support system. It
No,
doesn't
but
have to be
what I
someone
mean
building
is,
up. It's
but just talking to someone is a support system. in
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
a
professional.
big thing.
or-
Like, yeah, I mean, I think probably 80% of our group has had these feelings at some point in their life,
Except
Do you
Hayden.
think-
except for Hayden.
What?
No,
No.
Hayden's been
I'm
depressed
not
before.
with you, kidding me. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say.
No.
I don't know if I have been.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because
No. Let's listen to
24/7.
different. He's been depressed. He has not had depression.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've had down moments.
yeah.
I don't have.
That's what I said.
depression.
About
I've-
80%.
I've never put myself into a rabbit hole,
About 80% of the people, I think, in
Yeah,
our
but you
group
probably will.
have had.
but I have woken up in a bad mood where I just feel like shit.
But you know,
and
the thing is,
just
it-
can't get out of
Hayden,
it.
you might
sometimes.
eventually wake up one day later on in life and deal with
100%.
this. Like,
My bad mood's been going on for months,
yeah,
Yeah, that's called depression.
and it's just exhausting.
it is. It is.
As I
exhausting.
said, I think life is exhausting, brother. And as I said,
and people with depression do.
yeah,
And it is a constant battle, and it's ruthless, and it's not kind in any way,
No.
and it's not fair on people.
No.
But you know that's
We're-
why we talk about these
we're-
things. And
we're-
it,
At the end of the
There
day,
is no cure.
it's a me issue. It's something I need to figure out,
it's
and there's no time frame for
and
when I'll
there's
figure it
tons
out.
of people, and there's tons of people that live with depression. And
I need to go and read
feel
some
good.
books and sit on the beach and meditate or some shit. I don't know.
it is a me issue, but at the same time, if you just leave it to yourself, you'll never get better. Like you need.
As in, like, if you feel like you
No,
need help,
like
seek
if
help.
I couldn't have this conversation right now, I feel a lot better.
Yeah,
Like just talking
just
about
getting it
this
off your chest, I guess. Yeah, it's a big
like
thing.
it is, even if like no one's saying anything that,
You know, it's going to fix
Fuck,
your
no.
problem or something.
Yeah.
that's going to change your mind.
even if the answer was told to me right now, it still wouldn't hit me because it's not
100%.
it's not what I need.
You're not-
I just
you're not
need
in the
someone.
mood.
I just need people to listen. It's nice to have people to listen.
Yeah.
To your rants.
And I think that's the thing. If you can just talk and people can listen, it's so much easier to
Yo,
just.
I actually
Give your-
actually
figure
feel
it
like
out yourself.
people underestimate the power of listening.
Yeah.
yeah, I 100% agree with you, Lachlan. 100%.
being heard is so nice.
And oh yeah,
Even
who
if
knows
it's
your
in
brain
by
better
one
than
person.
you, right? Like,
And not being judged for it as well.
Yeah,
I think
Like-
it's big because it raises your value, right?
like
Like not. I don't think it raises your value in other people's eyes. I think maybe it does a little bit, but I think the main factor is it raises your value in your own eyes.
because someone cares.
to the
Yeah.
person, that value of
Because
that person.
somebody cares enough to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah,
So they'll
Yeah.
stop and invest their time in what you're saying.
and they respect. It's about respect and
and
gratitude. I
and
guess.
again, it's really sad when people don't have these support systems and people don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really sad.
Yeah, and they need
it is, and
because
that's why there is
like you,
services out
Kai,
there.
they need someone else that loves them because they don't.
Yeah,
And there is like hotlines out there that are literally just there to be like just to be spoken to.
yeah, exactly. And they're all
And that's
of
like
them
Lifeline and
all of
Black Dog
them-
Institute.
are anonymous as well. So that's the benefit.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and
So
they're
if you
friendly
are struggling
people as
listening
well.
to this, you can contact Lifeline on 13 11 12.
Yeah, it's a good tool for listening, like I was saying, and what we were just saying. It's nice to be heard. They're
Yeah.
a great tool to just be heard.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so we're going to wrap it up. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for listening so far. Hopefully this was something a little bit different. It was very honest, raw
Kind of upfront.
on all of our parts.
Yeah, I guess.
So thank you for everyone for sharing and feeling comfortable to share.
So good.
But if you like this, just let us know.
Please.
All right, peace, guys.
Peace,
Peace,
guys.
boys.
Talk to you next episode.
Boy.
Oh.